Afternoon, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to come from, I'm going to be referenced Jonah, and we're talking about people that pretty much run from their calling, which is rebellion, or some people that ran a little bit, but also came and accepted what it is that God is doing. Here's the thing: what I find for me, I was when I first understood or realized what God was doing in my life. I I wouldn't say I rebelled because he was asking me to leave my job, and I didn't understand that for 4 years, and I didn't want to because my job at that time was the way I provided. Not that God is not my source, but I had a hook on my job to the point where my job was my source. Not that I looked at God and like, no, he's not providing. Yes, I'm thinking, okay, God, you can increase me. You can do this and that and the third while I'm on this job. Why do I have to leave my job? But I had to realize that my ways are not God ways, and God ways aren't my ways, and nor are his thoughts. So I have to do what he said do. Yes, it took me a long time because for one, I didn't understand it. For two, I didn't see a lot of people at that time getting called off their job for this and that and the third. But once I started being curious, okay, God, I'm going to do this. You got to send me confirmation. You got to send me clarity. And that happened a long time. But it got to a point in my life where I got miserable. That's my daughter texting me. That I got miserable. I got frustrated, and nothing was going right. I wasn't feeling fulfilled or whatever. And I knew that I was doing something, still continuously doing something that I was rebelling against, and that was still being at my job. I had to come into terms with it. Okay, God, if this is what you're calling me to do, this is what I'm going to do. And here I am now today. But many people run away from callings for various reasons. For me, at one point in time, when I realized, the weight of what God is doing, I did cry because I was scared. I'm like, God, what are you going to do? Like, or are you going to change me to be? Like, like I don't want to be doing something that I'm not comfortable with. I don't want to live like that and all that stuff. But it's not, whenever you come to God, he's not going to make you somebody that you're not, and that's what I was thinking. Like, he's going to change my whole life, this and that and the third. I'm going to be, I don't know what I thought I was going to be, but look at me now. It was none of the things that I thought he was going to do in my life. Even to the point right now, I still want to work. I want to work. God, your word, your Bible is full of lazy people, poverty and stuff like that. So I'm learning also to align myself up with him and not question it. And even when I have it hard on those days, just like, oh God, I really desire to work. But even if I'm not working a physical job and getting paid, I get up every morning, do this, what he has me to do for him right now. I do it with joy. I do it with gratitude. I do it unto the Lord as if I was getting paid. I don't even care if I'm not getting paid. I enjoy doing what I do now. So even going back to a 9 to 5 job, I reasons with God, okay, God, let's do it part-time, this and that and the third. But people with a I don't even want to say a bigger calling, but like your pastors or your leaders are that are teaching us and stuff, they didn't always openly just come, okay, God, you can have me. No, some people gave pushback, some people gave struggle, and then some people still not answering that calling and rebellious against God and what he's asking them to do. But here's the thing: when you're rebellion against God and you're just not going to never answer what he say do, either way, you're never going to run from it. He's going to bring you to it at some point, but there are sometimes where he may not, but you will never be fulfilled. You will always feel like there is more or something you're supposed to do. And the reason is because you're rebellious against God and what he's calling you to do, that you're deciding to do what you want to do, right? If that makes sense to you. It made sense to me because I was very miserable. I was very frustrated. It just was unbearable, and I just had to say, okay, God, let's do this. And it's not even on a high level, right? I'm just Now, the thing is, I have to make sure I'm reading. I have to make sure I'm studying. I have to make sure that I'm hearing from the Lord. I have to make sure that it is God telling me to say what I'm saying. Those things are very important. I will not get up here and not say anything that's not related to the Bible or add it up to the Bible. I'm afraid of God. I don't put me in it at all. So I'm going to give you a backstory of the book of Jonah. The book of Jonah is found among the minor prophets in the Old Testament. Unlike other prophetic books that focus mostly on messages spoken to the people, Jonah focused on the prophet himself. Jonah was a real prophet from Israel, and you can read 2 Kings 14 and 25 for that. God called him to go to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, an enemy nation known for violence, cruelty, and oppression. Nineveh represented everything Jonah hated and feared. And that's what it is with us when God calls us to do. I did not openly want to do this, you know. I'm just, first of all, I'm the one that stays in the back. I don't mind staying in the back. I don't mind not being in the camera or speaking. I'm okay with being sheltered and just sitting back and listening. That's just what I do. But for me, when God started telling me to do these videos, I did not want to do them. I did not desire to do it, but I got up and did it anyway. And there's days where I did it where I didn't want to do it at all. And I remember taking myself off of TikTok for like a week or two, almost a month. And he asked me, how can you take yourself off of a thing that you didn't even put yourself on? So I had to end up getting back on because I didn't place myself there in the first place. So you just be mindful about your journey and the things that God is asking you to do. Yes, sometimes we're going to get pushback. Yes, we may not understand, but at the end of the day, we still have to honor his word and do what he said. It's not to benefit us. It's to benefit where he's going to get the glory out of it. And also, your journey is not about you. It's about others. So somebody may need to know your story or how you started coming to God and all that, right? So let's go on. So with that being said, when God called you to do something, it's not going to always be something that you want to do or you like to do, right? Instead of obeying, Jonah boarded a ship going in the opposite direction. This wasn't accidental. Jonah deliberately ran as far as he could from the presence of the Lord, right? Jonah 1-3 says, but Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed to another destination. This tells us something powerful. Jonah didn't run because he didn't hear God. He ran because he heard him clearly. And sometimes we can hear God clearly, but still turn the other way. And a lot of us do that. I've been there before. I think everybody that ever or is serving God have had that moment where we know that this is not really what God's telling us to do, but we go do it anyway, right? Okay, so we're going to get into why do people run from their calling? Fear of what obedience will cost you. Because living for Christ costs you something. It costs you something. Yes, it does. Jonah feared what might happen if he obeyed. Calling often demands, like calling, meaning the things that God called us to do. It often demands forgiveness instead of bitterness, humility instead of control, faith instead of familiarity. Now, here's the thing for me. I always wanted to control something. Like, I am a single mom, right? So I controlled everything that I did. If I had to make money or work, I controlled that part of me. So when God took that from me, I can't control nothing. Like now, I can't control anything. I have to go to my daddy and ask, or go to him and talk about things, because I do not control anything in my life right now. I am as humble as I can be. I can't control anything. I cannot. So when you are called, you're going to have to lose that control. And you're going to have to be okay with it. You're going to have to be okay with it. Sometimes God calls us to places, people, or assignments that controls our wounds. Meaning, you may want to do something and God may want to heal you in a certain aspect of your life or your wounds. He wants to heal everything about you. But even whenever you are called, sometimes your calling also is going to call you to cry, because he's going to then start healing that thing inside of you from your past or from your childhood trauma or whatever you dealt with, right? So coming to God, he's going to clean up all those things for you. And people don't want to deal with that. So that's another reason why they don't answer, or they don't want to live or do what they're supposed to do for God. Okay? So we run when obedience threatens our comfort, pride, and sense of justice. Number 2, pain from past experience. Pain from past experience. Many people rebel against God or do not answer their call because of past experiences. Many people run because they don't love God. Many people run not because they do not love God, but because life has hurt them. And that's where we get in a situation where you see a lot of people that blame God for a lot of stuff. Rejection makes you be more cautious. Failure makes you silent, and trauma made you hide. So when you're dealing with all those things and God is calling you to do a certain thing, if you're not healed from those things, we will neglect the assignment God has on our life. Okay? Okay. Control and self-will. Jonah wanted control over how God showed mercy. And we do too. We do too. We run when God's plan doesn't align with our preference. His timing challenges our patience. His way contradicts our logic. I was there on all 3 of those and still am right now today. The only thing that's a lot of these has gotten better for me is I know that God's way is not my way. And I also have to know it is God's timing when he's going to do something. And I have to also know my logic thinking, my human thinking is never God's thinking. Never. You can't even analyze it. You can't even analyze it, right? God didn't drag Jonah to Nineveh. He let Jonah board the ship. He allowed the storm, and he prepared the fish. He prepared the fish. Jonah 1:17 says, now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah. You can run, but you can't hide. And what does this show us? It shows us God doesn't stop the storm immediately, but he controls it. He controls it. He controls it. Those that you think you're running and you're getting away, you can run now, but you can't hide, right? You can run, but you cannot hide. And when we run and keep running and keep running, all it is doing is wearing ourselves out. We're getting tired. You're getting frustrated. You're aggravated. You're all these things whenever we should have just dropped what we was doing and answered the call. Or do what he said do. Or let go what he said let go of, right? When we run from purpose, life often feels like repeated cycles, emotional heaviness, and divine interruption. Not because God is angry, but because he is intentional. He's intentional about everything that he does. So the longer you run, the longer you do not let go what God called you to let go, the more internal aggravation and frustration you're going to be for yourself. And you're going to find yourself in a cycle. Not a season. Season change. You're going to find yourself in cycles of keep doing the same thing over and over and trying to get the same result instead of doing what God told you to do. Or at some point, you ask God for clarification if you're scared or you're not really sure. Get in his word. He wants to show you. He will show you. He showed me. So I know he'll show you. But if you keep running, it's miserable. It's miserable. The belly of the whale, a place of transformation, right? That's where Jonah was. The belly of the whale represents those dark seasons: isolation, stillness, silence, and reflection. Like right now, where I'm at, it showing me, first of all, I'm growing, but it also showed me, right? I also faced my past trauma. I also faced the childhood trauma. I also faced the things that I minimized in my life that I felt wasn't anything, but it was. It was. It's where excuses die and prayer becomes honest. This place that I'm in, this is where God developed my prayer life. This is where he developed my reading. This is where he developed my wisdom and understanding and everything that I'm gonna need in order to walk wherever he's taking me. It is in here where he strengthened my faith. Even with reality is just all over the place, and it is what it is, but this is the place that he's doing everything to me and developing me right now in order for me to do and be effective for his kingdom. Sometimes God allows confinement so clarity can be born. So sometimes God will put you in this little isolation, put you in your wilderness, trying to get the Egypt out of you. And the sad thing is, a lot of people want to run on to see what the end is going to be without even dealing with the issues that they're dealing with right now in their internal selves. Or even at the job. Some people got jobs, and God is trying to teach you about that job. In everything that we do, there is a lesson. Your supervisor or your manager right now could be getting on your nerves to the I don't know, to the highest degree. And you may have been a person that always react to what somebody says, or you ready to fight. You about that life. But now God has gotten you in a training at your job that you need to tone down. Everything doesn't need a reaction when somebody says something or action. Everything is training. Are you passing your test? I know I had to go through that. As far as the job part goes, I had to let people say things that I knew were not true. Or feel the way they feel about a situation, and I couldn't defend myself. But I passed it. It took me 6 years to almost pass one test. I used to have to go back over and over and apologize. I'm sorry. Blah, blah. Like just everything that God does, he's testing you. So if you are in this season right now at work, and everything seems to be coming up against you and everybody, look at it as a test. How are you going to pass this test? Right? Maybe you need to go back and apologize for what you said. Maybe you need to stop hanging around those people and gossiping about that at work. God had to fight my battle because it was a time where I was not supposed to defend myself. That mountain that I see today, I will not see no more. I kept saying that over and over. If I'm not supposed to defend myself, God, then you got to deal with this. And he did just that, right? And it's not that he will remove a person from a job. Sometimes he'll remove you. Just make sure you're paying attention. Okay. Here's the thing, or questions to ask yourself. What is God asking me to do that I keep avoiding? What fear is disguising itself as wisdom? What place am I running from? Do you know if God is what he's telling you to do, or calling you to do, or telling you to let go of? Sit down and get clarification from God what he's asking you to do in this season. Things that you may be running from. A calling to heal. You know you got the healing in you, but you don't want to be going around healing people. Why? People need you. You could be at a calling to forgive. Maybe something that's going on in your life or has been sitting there dormant for a while, and God is calling you to forgive it. A calling to speak. That was my thing. My things were a calling to speak and a calling to trust and heal and forgive. I had all of them. And he dealt with that with me. I did not want to speak. I did not want to speak because, first of all, I was telling God, I don't have the voice. I don't speak well. I felt like I don't speak well. I don't know what to say. What are people going to think? I had all these issues. I don't even look the part. I had a whole lot of issues, okay? But now I get up here and speak, whether I make mistakes, whether I pronounce something wrong. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose. Maybe it just slipped out wrong because I'm out talking all day as well. So, yeah, you got to know that whatever God called you to do, he's going to equip you for it. And I also have to remind myself in Jeremiah where he says that he put the words in my mouth. So anything that I'm speaking, it is the Holy Spirit that is speaking through me. Right? And then oftentimes you can reach people that other people can't reach. That has all these big words or when it talks so elegant. You know, it is what it is for me. It is what it is for me. And there's nothing I can do as far as to change that part of my speaking. Like, this is how God created me. This is what it is. And I battled for years about it. And he always gave me I always related to Moses. I always related to Moses. So, yeah, do what God say do. No, you might not gravitate to it right then, but eventually you're going to have to. The worst thing you can do is live your life in rebellion. You can run, but not forever. You can resist, but not without consequences. You can hide, but never from his grace. God's call will always pursue you. Not to harm you, but to heal you. Your obedience may not change your comfort, but it will change your lives. It will change your life. It will change those around you life. It will change those that are assigned to you life. So get in agreement and read the story of Jonah. Read that. And just know that whatever God is calling you to do, or calling you into, or calling you to let go, it's not about you. He's using you. And you ought to be honored that he chose you. You didn't choose him. He chose you to do his will. That he's able to use you to glorify him. Because at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to get the glory, right? At the end of the day, he's the one that's going to get the glory. So if this information is helpful for you, make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to the channel and you share the story as I keep on walking through perfecting my speech. Have a good one.